Howdy, fellow rockhounds. Here we are once again to the show that never ends. But here we are with the last volume edition of my Arrowhead collection. Got a few different things out here. First, I think I've showed these before online, but a lot of you probably haven't seen them. This here is definitely a billet napper, white-tailed deer. I dug up in an overhang. I dug all kinds of other stuff up. This was up underneath a great big rock that I dug all kinds of stuff around, all the way down from there being a little bitty bird point on top of it. Where's that dude at? I'll pick them out when we're looking at them. But bird point was on top, and there was like right side shallow notches broken around one level, and you got down a little farther, and there was some different knife blades and stuff. And when I got it down to the floor, this was on one end, and this was at the other end of the rock, and it's probably about 1.5 feet long, and these were at each end of it right up against it. And so you know this made that point. Well, when I got dug around that rock all the way and flipped it over, there's like a 1/2 inch of dirt, and I scraped that off and 2 points popped out. I showed them on my blade case. Well, I scratched underneath the rest of the mud up, moist dirt, and this was underneath it. And you can even see where I scratched it with my little 3-prong garden rake at that time, or it may have been my 1-prong. And didn't know it was in there yet, and it was still soft. Now, if you ever dig up bone, and you can see these haven't really dried and cracked out real bad or nothing. I mean, there's a few cracks in there. This was already cracked when I dug it up, and so it was there too. But I soaked them in 50/50 Elmer's glue and water. It's a great easy solution, and it curates them forever. But also on that overhang, I found this little bitty sliver bone all here. This here's like just worked up like you wouldn't believe. Nice little needle tip. And then in the process of digging in there, I had always, once you get a good floor going, I dig into that wall and then I come up. I go to, if I got a 2.5 foot floor, I stay at the bottom, I dig way in as far as my arm will go, and then I start coming up that wall and everything just kind of falls down. Well, it's about 16 inches down from the main part of the top part of the dirt floor, and this thing falls down. Boom! Just like that. And I'm like, oh my gosh, what is that? Look at that, would ya? Well, oh my gosh. Well, I get my headlamp and I'm looking up at that wall, and I can see these ears just barely sticking out like that. And I pull that dude and I'm like, whoa, no way. And you can see the impression where these were. They were laying right together just like that. And these are eccentrics, of course, but just check the shape out of this one right here. I mean, I don't know. To me that's kind of like a head and a body, and then down here you got your feet and stuff. But what if he's a running animal? You know what I'm saying? Because you look at this, that to me is definitely a horned head animal. No matter how you look at it, that's a horned head animal. Well, the really cool thing about these is where they flaked them out. Can you see that pink in there? Come on, focus, put the background out and work on the piece. And every one of them notches, there's a heavy amount of reddish to pink color. And it's in these two, you can't see it as well because of the color of this stone. But right there's a really hard red line, and it goes through there too, and even over here. My buddy had dug it up, but they had taken a piece of hematite, something way smaller than this. It was almost like the shape of a tube, and he dug it up, and he was supposed to dig in his broken stuff and find it for me. I should have got it from the day he dug it up, but they took a piece of hematite and they rubbed all that area smooth. It's all polished, smooth. This whole outer edge of this thing is smooth, and it's all heavily polished, all inside there. There's a piece of outer core they left there. That's why I always figured that's the front foot, and maybe that's like the bleeding heart or something. It's a shot buffalo. And then they took his spirit when they ate and used up every bit of him. And so there came the story of the great white buffalo hunt or something. And, who knows why they laid those eccentrics there and made those. Who knows. But these ended up being on the backside of a fire pit once I come past these, and it was one of the most perfect ring fire pits of rocks I'd ever found. It was like rocks, bigger than this case and some size of this case, and they're in a perfect circle, and I still have chunks of it. Chunks of charcoal the size of your hand. We even pulled out sticks that hadn't been completely burnt yet. Well, they were on the outside of the fire pit, and they were preserved in this dirt because it's kind of like a half sandstone bluff. So it was super packed sand in there. And it just makes things last a lot longer. Okay, sorry we spent 9 minutes and something on that. And here we are to the bird point case. My birdies. Oh gosh, do I love my bird points. I've been so blessed to find as many as I do. And I sure need a bigger case one day. Then I've had people send me a few bird points. This one here. Around here we call them Madison. Where Jonesy's at, I think they call them Fort Ancients. But this dude here is as translucent as they come. It's a real nice dark gray translucent. But it's a sweetie. I can't never thank him enough for sharing that with me. I owe that man the world. And then Pestle Man sent me this one right here. It's a little Trinos Cahokia. And here's two bird points that I don't have anymore. My friend that does my tattoos had gotten this one first. He got it for tattooing my eagle owl on my back shoulder. And then he got this one, my 5-notch Cahokian, that really has red eyes on that side of it, and it's even one looks like it has a tear. But he did a Cooper's Hawk on my right shoulder. They're both 6x8 tattoos and just stellar artwork. But yeah, I sure miss him. But I think when I get my settlement, he's actually going to let me buy him back, pay him for the tattoos, whatever he wanted in cash, and give me my stuff back. But that's an awesome old bird point right there. Awesome old bird point. And then y'all seen me get these recently from our stellar little digging buddy. I really like this one, boy. It is neat material, neat. But so is this one here, because it's made out of that Pinkton chert, and that's really cool stuff. We just don't get a lot of solid black here. It's hard for us to find a lot of solid red, but we actually get more red in bird points than we do a lot of other things. This one here is really cool. It's great big sequoia, and it has a large impact break on it right there. It was shot at something for sure, but it has that red. They made it like that. It's a pink bird point, but there's a red bird point inside of it. Is that not cool or what? And I have some different tips. They're up there that spell bird points. But here's my, what I call my bird point drill. Made it right from a flake. Just, I don't know if that little notch was made in there or not. But, man, it's an awesome, awesome little piece. Sorry. Awesome, awesome little piece. First shelter I ever dug in, it was a moist cave. And this was in it back around the corner, in a kind of corner where there wasn't no natural daylight hitting. And it was actually in a hole that my buddy had started, and I was digging towards him, and he was digging towards me, and he got bored not finding nothing and said, I'm going to go dig in front. I said, well, can I dig in your hole back towards mine? He's like, I don't care. The third swipe, and this baby popped out. Third swipe. And then I was washing it off in a little bit of water and dropped it. He couldn't find it, and I was freaking out. And my buddy's like, just let the water clear up. You'll find it. It'll show. And boom, I just let the water clear up, and there it laid. And, I mean, it has 2 holes, even concaved in there a little bit. Super cool. And I dug the heck out of that spot and never found another one there. But I didn't go deep enough. It needs to be gone a lot deeper. This is also the first bird point I ever dug up. It also came out of that same shelter. And I've showed a lot of them points. They're my brown and heavy calcium points. Everything that come out of my hole was pretty much brown except one black tool and this bird point that was a lot higher in the dirt. One of my other bird points that's tattooed on me. This one right here. Boom, there she is. I mean, flaking and all. Little purple line even right there. But he was supposed to do it this way with that purple line showing. But that's okay. But it's a stellar little... It's a big Scalorn. That's what it is. And then my best lakeshore find here is this big old Scalorn right here. It was in a mud flat that actually I probably need to go check first thing in the morning since we just had all that hard rain, because the lake is real low and we ain't had no rain forever, so no telling what it washed up. But boy, is it a sweetie. And then a friend of mine, I showed his stuff in an older video along with a mushroom hunting video, and I think that was like 2 years ago or 2 mushroom season ago I showed it. But when the big sea of dirt got ate one time by the river, I was taking him and his wife in there hunting with me, and he found this Scalorn here. And we've been told by several old timers and others that think they're experts, this is a Texas style Scalorn, which we find other Texas style points or the South Central style points out there, like Castervilles and Marshalls. And I even found a Montel one time that has that double notch base kind of deal going on like a Cahokian. Boy, time's really running fast on us, ain't it? Here's one of my very favorite Madison's too. It's one of the first ones I ever found. I at first just thought it was a flake, and this has flaking that goes all the way across it. There is like not much right here on this spot right there in the center is the only place that it is like just one big flake. Everywhere else it has the finest flake work all the way around it, and it is so paper thin. If we hold it right, we could probably make it disappear. And I don't think it's meant to be translucent material, but because it's so thin, it is translucent. I mean, just as much as it gets. Oh, I got so many favorites in here. Well, up here where it spells out bird points. Sorry, I'm blocking light. Uh, are all broke ones. It took me 70, I think exactly 70 broke ones to spell bird points. And then I got like all these bird point preforms, I call them, up here and over here and over here. And that would have been a big Nodina right there. But man, I wish some like this one here. I wish none of them would have been broke. But boy, I've never got to find one of them. That thing would have been a great big tall serrated sequoia about that size. And then the first three lines of them in here are like most of my best favorite ones. Here's a, oh dang it, right now I can't think of the name, but they call this the turkey tail bird point. And if you find one of these that's made really nice, this one's kind of rough. Boy, they're worth quite a bit. Just all kinds of sequoias. Except here's a, dang it, I can't remember the name of it either. And it's not really a normal bird point for our area. They have these full bulbous base, round bases like that. I can't remember no names right now. There's a favorite little Madison. Here's a favorite little Madison. This is probably my smallest one too. And it's got this crazy little serration that just sticks right off the end of that tip. Can you see that? I mean, man, is that thin. Pretty sure Devin was with me the day I found that. It stuck to the end of my jugging stick, which a lot of bird points will. And check out this one here. It's got the little notched base in it. This one here is tattooed on my arm. It is that bird point right there. That is that bird point right there. This one here, I found this one in a real special way, but it's that bird point right there that you see. And then the one next to it is the next bird point right there. This is the stellar one I found with Richard at the old oak tree. I'm not sure what type this is. I found this on an 8-hour hike one day in the big sea of dirt, just in field 2. And I only found some broken arrowheads, but I found 2 bird points. This one here and another one. And they were each on opposite corners of the field. So I found one first, and it took about 8 hours later. That's the last point I found in that field. Just all kinds of them. This is another Madison I got from my buddy. This one here is fully translucent. I mean, here's a really awesome one. Here's an awesome Madison. Here's one that's a reed side notch, which is kind of like a Cahokian type. It's only got one notch on one side. That one also come from my buddy right there. Well, back when I had some extra money, they needed like $50, and I said, bring them over. And then there's like one of my favorite ones so far from the elm tree. Hopefully we'll get back to digging there this spring too. Everyone that's coming for the show, I know will be digging there for sure. And just all kinds of broken ones. Broken, but I love them all, man. It's time for a bigger case, because I'm still going to always keep them bird points like that. Actually, when I get a bigger case, I'm going to reset all them first, and then I'm actually going to super glue them in place on the case so they never ever have to worry about moving. And then all these other ones, I'm going to try and do a design of some kind. Plus, this year's just going to start. Last year wasn't my best year, but let me see. I got 5 from my buddy. There was this one, this one, this one, and that one there. And I can't remember which other one yet, but, oh, yep, that one right there. And like I said, I got all them for $50, but I had taken them. And I told him he could buy them back, too, you know. But I know him. He'll never come get them back. They won't. They'll be mine forever. I already know that. But, man, I love my bird point case. I just love birdies. Love them, love them, love them. Man, we're so blessed here in Missouri. We go from some of the biggest points to some of the teeniest, weeniest little points. I mean, look at this little guy right there. He'll fit on a fingernail. So will this one here. It fits in your thumbnail. Oops, dang it, dang it, dang it. This one was sharpened up and made with that little tip that way. Oops, sorry. I'm trying to get it to set on my fingernail, but it keeps sliding around. I mean, see, it fits right inside my fingernail. So you know what size we're talking about on some of these. Because, I mean, there's some real little ones in here. Like, you know, that one there next to it. That old Madison. This little bitty Reed's Point over here I dug up at Devon. Over at Birdie Haven. Well, we're getting on 23 minutes of film here, folks. We're going to shut her down so we're not taking forever. I always appreciate y'all for your views, your comments. And I'm going to go ahead and start leaving my thumbs up on, or my thumbs rating. You know, I didn't turn it off because I was worried about someone TDing me. I turned it off to aggravate them. Because I know it just burns their butt that they can't thumbs down my video. I get a kick out of it because I know they're sitting at home being miserable in their little miserable world, and I'm at home being a happy camper and loving life and feeling the positivity flow, passing out the positivity, and keep it spreading. That's what life's about, being real. Being real and being positive towards all those around you. And may the Great Spirit bless upon you all.